Hello, my westward expansion pioneers. Here we are again talking about the road west. Now, when you look at a GPS on your phone or a map on the computer, there aren't a lot of printed maps that we carry around with us nowadays. When Miss Caitlin was growing up, there were cellular phones. They were huge, though. We called my mom's cell phone the brick because it was physically actually the size of a brick. And if anybody's ever held a brick, it's heavy, it's big. That is the size of my mom's phone. All right. And the screen was about this big. I'm not kidding, right here. Like, beep, 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 beep. And it only displayed the numbers you punched into it. That was it, like a calculator, okay? Like this is the screen of this calculator, and if I go, I'm gonna go on, beep boop 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 bop. Like I'm gonna call my best friend. 831 2233 4480. Okay, so that's all the screen showed. That's it. That's all you got. So there was no ability to get the map on your phone or look at it on a screen. It did not exist yet. We did not have personal computers that could fit into your pocket. I'm old. And I'm not even that old. Oh my gosh. So, when we had the brick, we also had physical paper maps. When the pioneers were traveling west, there were not even physical paper maps for that area yet. Now remember, Lewis and Clark had gone all the way to the Pacific Ocean with Sacagawea as their guide, but they were not able to make an entire map of the entire West. They were able to definitely assist on the trail that they took, but they were just two men making their way across this landmass. With covered wagons and the expansion of all those people going west, there were many different ways you could take. And there were no maps yet. Okay, so if you don't have a GPS and you don't have a map, how in the world do you cross those thousands of miles and make it there safely? Well, one way that they did it is they used the North Star. Now, when you look up in the day, can you see the North Star? No, so you had to use it at night. When nightfall came, with a clear sky, they would find the North Star, and they would point their wagon in that direction when they could see the star. And then they would go to sleep, and then in the morning they wake up and they would know their covered wagon, or wagon, it might not be covered, was pointed towards north. Now, do they want to travel north? No, they want to travel west. But now they know where north is, so they know this is west, and they'll turn towards west and then fix their eyes on an object far in the distance and keep going towards that object as far as they can. Now, sometimes they came up against rivers. They usually did not come up against a mountain when they're traveling through the plains, okay? So they get through the Appalachian Mountains, through the Great Forest. Remember how the squirrels could travel on the top of the tree from the Atlantic Ocean to the plains? That's how thick the Great Forest was, with trees, bushes, mountains, streams, rivers. Then they hit the plains and there are no more mountains. There are no more trees. There is hardly a rock in sight. There is no what they would call landmarks. So that's why they needed the North Star at night to show them which way west was, when they began the next day. And that's why they needed mountains and objects in the far distance to focus on and keep going in that direction, because there were no trees, there were no rocks, there were nothing. It was just grass as far as you could see. Oh man. So they thought it'd be easier because there's no more trees to like get caught up in and have to go around and all that kind of stuff. But there's also no more landmarks, and there's not a lot of running water. And you know that the oxen that pull the cart need water. The people need water. So if you found a river, you wanted to either cross it or travel along it. But rivers change direction all the time. You could be going along a river that's heading west and then suddenly it turns south. You don't want to go south, you want to go west. Then you have to say goodbye to the river. If it's going southwest, well, it's kind of still going west, so you would follow it for a while. But then you would have to eventually say goodbye. So, traveling west was just so fraught with danger. And this week you're going to play the Oregon Trail. And now remember, when you play the Oregon Trail, you got to think about such things. How much water are you going to take with you? Did you know water is heavy? So the more water you pack with you, the heavier your wagon gets. And the more stress you put on your oxen that are carrying all of your things. So many people came to the point where their oxen could not carry that much anymore. They grew so weak and so tired from overuse. They had to make some really important decisions to let things go. They left behind organs, the musical instrument, not the body part. People brought their musical instruments with them. And when it came for them to leaving stuff behind to lighten the load for the oxen who were helping them, they left behind their instruments, they left behind their books, they left behind their bookcases and their beds, and left them behind, not in someone's care. No, they are in the middle of the wilderness, and they took their stuff and put it on the ground and said goodbye to their stuff in the middle of nowhere. Can you imagine the things that travelers came across on their way behind them? They're like, oh, look, somebody was a musician. Oh, look, somebody was an artist. Oh my. They just left it on the side of the trail. That's it. They would never see it again. Now, God asks us to take care of the things that he blesses us with, but he also says, he also trains us and advises us to not hold on to it so dearly that we could never let it go or pass it on to somebody else, right? Can we take the musical instruments with us to heaven? Can we take the money to heaven? Can we take the books? Can we take the beds? The only thing that we can take to heaven with us are people. Eventually, we're going to have to let it all go. And there was a missionary's wife who was traveling the trail, and she had to let go of her, what do they call it? Trunk. Her trunk of clothes. And this is for the ladies. I don't know how much the men are going to be like, ugh. But in her trunk of clothes was her wedding dress. And she had to say goodbye. And in fact, she wrote down in a journal what she thought and what she prayed. She said, poor little trunk. That sounded like drunk. Poor little trunk. I am sorry to leave thee, but thou must abide here. She left it and kept on going to her work in the Lord. I hope that can be us too. You know, a lot of people are going through their stuff right now and getting rid of a bunch of things because it's quarantine, and they go, well, I've always wanted to clean out my closet. That's what these people had to do on the road. What do you own that would be really difficult to let go of? My teddy bears. You know, I've let go of a lot of stuff. I've moved a lot. Although if my mother was watching this, she'd be like, "You didn't let it go. You just put it in my garage." I did do that with a lot of stuff, but I also let a lot of stuff go. And I'll be going there this summer to go through it again. What do you have that would be really difficult to let go of? And what do you have that you could easily let go of? Think it over. Maybe write a list. Let's appreciate the blessings that we have received. And if God asks us to release them, let's be able to release them in good conscience and good faith, that there's a really good reason why He asks us to do that. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. All right, that's your history discussion for today. Go explore, buddies. Now, keep that in mind. When you play Oregon Trail on Friday, which I'm totally going to play, I'm really going to try and win. As you pack your load, think about weight and taking care of your oxen, because your oxen are the ones that are going to get you there. And if you overload them, you're not going to make it. Okay, bye.